Behind the fame, there was a sequence of choices, setbacks, and timing that mattered. Before he was the face of China's tech revolution, Jack Ma was rejected from dozens of jobs and had no idea how to code. This is the real story of how he built Alibaba, faced off against global giants, and eventually vanished from the public eye after a single speech changed everything. To understand Jack Ma's business decisions, we first have to look at his early failures and how they shaped his tolerance for risk. Before Alibaba, Jack Ma faced a series of high-profile rejections that would have stopped most entrepreneurs. He was famously the only person out of 24 applicants to be rejected by KFC in his hometown, and he failed his college entrance exams twice. These experiences built a thick skin that allowed him to handle the skepticism of early investors who didn't believe in the internet's potential in China. For modern business owners, his story highlights that early rejection is often a filter for those who lack the persistence to scale. Ma started his career as an English teacher, a role that honed his communication skills and ability to simplify complex ideas. While he lacked technical coding skills, he understood the human need for connection and trade, which became the core of his business philosophy. He spent years guiding tourists around Hangzhou for free just to practice English and learn about the world outside China. This global perspective gave him a massive advantage when he finally saw the internet for the first time in Seattle. In 1995, during a trip to the United States as a translator, Ma used the internet for the first time and realized China was nowhere to be found online. His first search for beers returned no results for Chinese products, which sparked the idea for China Pages, his first internet venture. Although China Pages ultimately failed due to a lack of funding and government competition, it provided the blueprint for what would become Alibaba. This stage shows the importance of identifying a market gap before the infrastructure even exists. Now, let's look at the pivotal moment in 1999 when Ma gathered 18 people in a small apartment to change the future of global trade. Alibaba was founded in Jack Ma's Hangzhou apartment with just $60,000 raised from friends and former students. Ma's pitch wasn't about technology, but about helping small Chinese manufacturers reach global buyers who previously had no way to find them. He chose the name Alibaba's because it was easy to spell and recognized globally as a story about open sesames or unlocking treasure. This focus on branding and accessibility from day one was a key factor in their early international traction. When eBay entered the Chinese market via EachNet, they expected an easy victory, but Ma launched Taobao to fight back. While eBay charged sellers for listings, Ma made Taobao free for 3 years, a move that burned through cash but captured the entire market. He famously said, "eBay is a shark in the ocean, but I'm a crocodile in the Yangtze River." By understanding local consumer behavior better than the American giant, Ma forced eBay out of China by 2006. By 2006, one of the biggest hurdles for e-commerce in China was a total lack of trust between buyers and sellers who had never met. To solve this, Ma created Alipay, an escrow service that held the buyer's money until they confirmed the goods were received. Many advisors told him it was a legal risk to handle payments, but Ma took the gamble to build the necessary infrastructure for trade. Today, Alipay is one of the world's largest mobile payment platforms, proving that solving a trust gap is often more valuable than the product itself. Alibaba's dominance wasn't an accident. It was built on a strategic framework, Ma called the Iron Triangle. At the base of the triangle is the e-commerce platform, which provides the massive volume of data and users. Unlike Amazon, Alibaba doesn't own most of the inventory. It acts as a digital marketplace connecting buyers and sellers. This asset-light model allowed them to scale rapidly across thousands of product categories without the overhead of warehouses. For businesses looking to scale, this highlights the power of platform-based business models over traditional retail. To support the massive volume of orders, Ma co-founded the Cainiao network, a data-driven logistics platform. Instead of building a private delivery fleet, Cainiao uses data to coordinate thousands of independent delivery companies across China. This creates a highly efficient web that can handle the surge of Singles Day, the world's largest shopping event. This strategy shows how a company can control the quality of a service without actually owning the physical assets, e.g. The final piece of the triangle is finance. managed through Ant Group, which uses data from e-commerce to provide loans to small businesses. Because Alibaba knows exactly how much a seller makes, they can assess credit risk better than traditional banks. This ecosystem creates a closed loop where users never have to leave the Alibaba umbrella to trade, ship, or borrow money. It's a masterclass in using data to cross-sell essential services to a captive audience. Jack Ma's rise was meteoric, but a single speech in 2020 changed his relationship with the Chinese government and his public profile forever. In October 2020, just days before the scheduled $34 billion IPO of Ant Group, Jack Ma gave a controversial speech in Shanghai. He criticized Chinese regulators for having a pawn shop mentalities and argued that the current banking system was stifling innovation. This public critique of the state's financial oversight was seen as a direct challenge to the authorities. It serves as a reminder that in certain markets, political capital is just as important as financial capital. Following the speech, the Ant Group one-point scene test, one-point scene Dizian, and Alibaba was hit with a record $2.8 billion anti-monopoly fine. The government began a broader Common Prosperities campaign aimed at curbing the influence of big tech and reducing wealth inequality. Ma largely disappeared from public life, sparking global speculation about his whereabouts and safety. This period marks a massive shift from the rock star entrepreneur era to a more subdued, state-aligned corporate environment. Before the crackdown, Ma had already stepped down as chairman of Alibaba to focus on philanthropy and education. Since 2020, his rare public appearances have focused on visiting agricultural research centers and rural schools rather than business summits. He has pivoted his public identity toward being Teacher Ma once again, focusing on sustainable farming and global education. This transition shows a strategic withdrawal from the front lines of tech into more socially acceptable and less controversial sectors. Jack Ma's story is a complex lesson in resilience, ecosystem building, and the delicate balance between innovation and regulation. The big idea is to understand that while aggressive growth can build an empire, long-term sustainability often depends on navigating the broader social and political landscape. Whether you're a small business owner or an investor, his journey offers a blueprint for identifying gaps and a warning about the limits of public influence. If this breakdown of Jack Ma's career helped you understand the realities of global tech giants, subscribe to Famous Life Bio for more deep dives into the lives that shape our world. Thanks for watching. If you want more deep biography breakdowns, subscribe and leave the next name in the comments.